talking to Ryan. He's my brother. He's also one of the guys that I started doing martial arts with, actually in first grade. When I was in first grade and he was in kindergarten, we started traditional martial arts together. And then later on, after high school, we started doing jiu-jitsu together. He's a jiu-jitsu brown belt.
I pole vaulted in high school, won state with that. Played collegiate soccer, won 2 national championships with that. And then after that was done, I found martial arts a little more seriously. Started in MMA with Kev and Matt Young, Steve Hanna, some of those guys. Had 2 fights, both went well. Just kind of slowly fell off of MMA and just got heavily into jiu-jitsu, so that's my main squeeze right now.
What do you do for a living right now?
Right now I coach college soccer at Fort Lewis. I coach the men's and women's goalkeepers, so that's been super fun. Different movement patterns, kind of getting back into one of my first loves, which has been nice.
And you're their mental coach as well, right?
Yeah, so I'm also doing just a little bit of the sports psychology side. A lot of people in sports, for whatever reason, it seems to be more prevalent in martial arts because it's you versus someone else, and that shit's a little scarier than it is with a team. But a lot of people at high level, I guess, sports still don't fully understand the importance of sports psychology. They go out and they go, I felt great physically, but I just didn't have it today, or I felt off. And there's all these sentences that kind of allude to the same thing. We weren't mentally prepared to go into what we were going into. So I'm helping the men's and women's out, kind of sort that out in their heads before they get on the pitch.
It's awesome, because that's what I've been trying to talk to people about. I feel like the techniques of every sport are readily handed down. And especially in martial arts, like you said, it's so scary and there's such a heavy mental aspect to it because it's hard to keep your shit together for that 15 minutes of fighting and not have the doubt creep in, not have your thought patterns go wrong after you start losing exchanges and things like that. Same thing in jiu-jitsu. You look at somebody's highlight reel and you know that that's the person that you're going to have to go up against. It takes a specific kind of self-talk and psychology to stop yourself from freaking out about the danger or how good he is or anything like that. So, cool, man. What got you into martial arts?
You?
Yes, done. Interview's done.
Oh.
That's all I wanted.
Growing up in a small town, being a kid with a lot of energy, wanting to hang out with his brother. I didn't have a lot to do besides kind of traditional sports, which I did that a lot as well. But I was getting into anything I could get my hands on, man. Like basketball, track and field, soccer, wrestling, football, baseball. I did everything because in a small town you have to. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I didn't really like martial arts when I was younger. I didn't like
kung fu together for years.
I didn't like it as much as you.
Right.
I did kung fu because it was something to do. I didn't do kung fu because I wanted to be good at kung fu.
All right, fair enough.
Until I found basically jiu-jitsu. Because once soccer ended, I needed to fill that competitive void. And coming in here and being athletic, I kind of came in at a higher level than some other people. So I saw some early success, which made me happy. And then just seeing how deep the rabbit hole goes with jiu-jitsu and how you can paint your own colors and make it completely your own thing, I think is really what has kept me interested.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, and you've been training for how long now?
8 years?
Yeah.
Almost 8 years. Yeah.
And you just got your brown belt. Well, it wasn't even just now. You got your brown belt like 6 months ago.
Yeah, a little less. Up in Spokane, Washington.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. And doing Worlds in December, Nogi Worlds.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. I want to start actually doing tournaments that have some clout to it. As cool as the local tournaments are, if you lose them, it doesn't matter, and if you win them, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
so
totally. You fought before, you rolled a lot of jiu-jitsu, and you're working with the soccer kids on their mentality. Mm-hmm. So maybe I'll ask you through this kind of like lens today. So you're about to send your kids out onto the field for a game. Their skills are in order, but what do you want them to be feeling and what do you want them to be thinking so they can showcase those skills?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So before we do 2 different things called match script and game face, and this is all from a guy named Dan Abrams. He has his own program that we're kind of going off of. But match script for jiu-jitsu would be your responsibilities. So let's say it is IBJJF. My responsibilities would be not get submitted, score points, not let him score points, and basically write down 2 or 3 key points that I personally need to work on. So that keeps me on cue with my job.
And are you doing this regularly throughout the season? This
Yes,
isn't like right
this is
before the
both.
game. This is
Yeah, so this is, we write it down the night before every game and we read it before every game.
Okay.
To remind us, right? So we understand our role, and then the game face aspect, we have to understand what makes us tick. Some of us are entertainers. I like the entertainment aspect. I have to be in a place where I feel a little cocky, feel a little entertaining. So what I have a lot of people do is to either picture their best game or their best jiu-jitsu match and what that looks like. So then they'll write down 2 or 3 things, actionable words that get you to that. So for me, energetic, always looking for submissions, and entertaining. And
Nice.
if I do those 3 things, I have a good jiu-jitsu match. If I'm nervous or I'm not doing those things, that's when I generally hold on to positions too long.
Yep.
I burn my grips out, I stall, it's boring. Afterwards, even if I win, I'm like, I didn't feel like I did my jiu-jitsu.
totally. I've totally had fights the same way where I'll win and still be disappointed in my performance.
Yeah.
It's like just because your performance is a little better than his doesn't mean that you're at all happy with your performance. This is what you expect of yourself.
Absolutely. So yeah, so it's so personal, obviously. So again, for me, entertaining, some people bring a more militant aspect to it of I need this, this, and this. They're stoic and stone-faced the whole time.
So it's personality dependent, which is kind of cool because then you don't have to mold everybody to fit one mold. They can keep their own mentality, and it works for everybody no matter kind of how they approach the game, whether it's serious, playful, entertaining, whatever view they decide to go into that game.
For sure. Like you see some people specifically in MMA, they're still doing the whole like, I'm gonna crush him, I'm gonna destroy him, kind of the Mike Tyson talk, like fuck this guy. And then you see other people like, yeah, it's gonna be fun. He does this well, I do this well. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Which I think is your approach. It's more playful and, you know, let's see how these 2 puzzle pieces match up.
And it's much more me. I don't feel like I'm pretending to be somebody else.
Yeah, and that's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
That authenticity, obviously when you're feeling like yourself, then you can go out and roll like yourself, fight like yourself, play like yourself.
Yeah, if you're pretending to be something else, it's not gonna stand up under pressure. It's gonna fold because it's not real.
Yeah, 100%. So that, getting into that, and then as we get closer to a game or closer to a match, we start doing confidence journaling. So for me, things that work, I have a good triangle, I scramble well, I'm hard to submit. Because sometimes we get into a fight, we get into a match, and we know, okay, I'm good at these things, but then when we're doing it against someone, we feel like, shit, I don't think these things work against this person.
Yeah, or we start being too them focused. Like, he's good at this, he can crush my whatever it is, he's stronger than I am. We're overly worried about his strengths.
Yeah.
And not focused on us and our game.
So yeah, that's something you hear throughout all sports. It's about you, not about them. And especially in martial arts, everyone's like, it's competition against yourself, even though you're fighting other people. So I think that's what they're alluding to is, you know, if you have good stand-up and your stand-up is like, you're more of a technician, and you're in and out and working angles, but then you decide to go in and brawl with a guy, that's taking you completely out of your game because you think you need to do that for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So confidence journaling is huge, just getting in the mindset of what you're good at and telling yourself these things work.
Nice. Okay. Cool. So, in these years of competition, have you seen athletes go into the game, either yourself or other athletes go into the game and they can't click into that mindset? Do you remember kind of why that happened?
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, and like I said, you hear it when people say, I just didn't have it, I wasn't there mentally. It's being mentally in tune and wanting to be there on the day. So compartmentalizing things instead of, I'm gonna win this fight, making it smaller. I'm gonna win the footwork angles. I'm gonna win, I'm gonna be first to the punch. I'm gonna respond to the kick. I'm gonna work my way off the fence.
Specifics, tactical stuff,
Yes.
not big picture stuff.
No, the whole you gotta want it thing.
Doesn't help you. It's not actionable in any way.
Everybody wants
'Cause
it.
you,
Yeah.
you want it as much as you want it, and you have nothing to compare it to. You don't know how much they want it, and in the end, that's not really what matters. It's the application of good techniques that matters.
Yes, so it's the small compartmentalizing from not only the fight, those little battles in the fight, but the whole fight camp. When you're doing strength work, just focus on your strength work. when you're doing drilling, be present for the drill. And you get in this mindset of being completely present with what you're doing. So then when you're actually competing, you're in a bit more of a flow state, you're used to being present, you're used to executing the things you execute.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, exactly. Because if you're a little bit worried about the future or you're a little bit bummed about what happened a few minutes ago, both of those things are distracting from what's happening right now, which is the only place where you can fix anything or do any good work.
Absolutely.
Is there one life lesson or one thing that you've learned from doing sports your whole life that you think maybe you wouldn't have learned another way? Or you don't even have to answer it like you wouldn't have learned another way. Just something cool that you learned.
Yeah, I think it can be summed up. So one of my first jiu-jitsu coaches was Steve Hanna, and he has a little saying that nothing means anything. And I really like that. And kind of what he means by that is if you're in a Brazilian jiu-jitsu competition against a Brazilian, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
You know, if they're from a really good camp, that doesn't mean anything.
If their coach is this guy or they're from
Yeah.
this school or whatever it is.
So
Or
it
they have a
kinda-
six-pack or they don't.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
totally.
It takes the curtain away so you can see the man behind the curtain. Because the more things you do, you realize, oh, this person's just been doing these things longer than I have, so they're at this position.
Yep.
So
So you
it's-
end up fighting the man, not the legend.
Exactly. So I think sports has just pulled that curtain back, and if someone's faster, one, it could be genetic, but also they've probably been doing much more sprint work, strength work, that kind of stuff. If someone's better at jiu-jitsu, it's not because they have this magical power that I don't have. It's because they've been putting more hours in on the mat. They've been learning more than I have.
Yeah.
So I think, it just creates an even playing field, and it just makes me realize if I want this, here's my timeline to get to it.
Awesome. Love it. That was it.
Thanks for listening.